Mike, for letting me talk, and I think Dai Tatou might have forced me into this, so I'm really stoked with that. I just want to tell you about our network called EDWWIN, a little bit about it, and you'll see there's a diagram up there, a slide that looks at, if you look at the far right there, there's a piece of Swiss cheese that's gone green, with a smidgen of light there. There's just a little bit of light on the well-being slice. So we'll just talk about EDWIN and see, what the heck's going on there. So I don't have any financial conflicts of interest, unfortunately, but I am a co-creator of EDWIN along with Tim Ritchie and Susie Hamilton and Caitlin Solomon from Hawke's Bay. And I happen to be the lead of that now. So I think we demonstrated, well, hopefully our lived experience, our collective lived experience, is that there's a gap in our care of in quality improvement in emergency departments in New Zealand, and a gap in how we the capacity and capability for workplace wellbeing and quality improvement in our departments. And I think the first thing is we need to ask, do we really care about that if we are not able to do great quality improvement, or we don't have capacity and capability to make sure we're optimising the wellbeing of our staff? I care. I think we all care about that, because we lose good clinicians who burn out, and we're not able to optimise care within the numerous constraints what we have. And so how do we close that gap? That's the question. So Jo Cole, wellness guru, not here today, she's coming tomorrow. She asked me, Mike, out of the research that I've done, what's one thing that we can take back to our departments tomorrow? And I think EDWIN hopefully is something that we can take back to our departments tomorrow or today. So EDWIN, it's an acronym for the Aotearoa New Zealand Emergency Department Workplace Wellbeing Improvement Network. And so this is a description of it. I'll read it out. A multidisciplinary network of frontline kaimahi healthcare workers, tangata whaiora, patients, whānau, and other stakeholders who aim to build and share knowledge, attitudes, and skills to assist with the implementation of best practice for improving the quality of healthcare, including the wellbeing of staff at emergency departments throughout New Zealand. Bit of a mouthful. So quality improvement. Hopefully we all know what quality is. Quality in healthcare, the Institute of Medicine, I think, came up with a sort of domains of high quality healthcare, including safe, timely, effective, equitable, efficient, and patient-centred. Acronym was STEEP. We've come up with one that includes the wellbeing of staff as well. But improvement, I think we all know what improvement is. It's getting better at stuff. That's pretty obvious. But what is quality improvement? I think in my training as a registrar, I don't think I really understood anything about quality improvement. I still don't claim a whole lot of expertise, but I think this is a definition. It's structured. It's used throughout the world, throughout healthcare and outside healthcare, using scientific methods to intervene, to do something, and also assess the effects of any intervention. And I think that's what we don't do very well. So I think some features of quality improvement include really carefully defining a problem or a situation, and asking ourselves, how will we know that an implementation will be an improvement? How are we going to figure that out? And then consider solutions, intervene, assess, and repeat. So I think all too often I see is we think we see something wrong, here's a solution, next problem, let's carry on. We don't assess, we don't consider the nuance of the problem enough. So well-being, what is well-being? That looks like well-being to me. This photo was stolen off Tim. And so well-being is, to me, it's obvious what I'm talking about when I'm talking about workplace well-being, but it may not be to others. So Aristotle talked about hedonic well-being. And is Peter Jones here? Yes, he is. This is hedonic well-being for Peter Jones. Golf, maybe, I don't know. No, it's not. Um, but there's eudaimonic well-being, and in workplaces, it's about working in a place that works. And that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about well-being at work, is actually going along to a place that works well. And I can go to work, feel good about going to work, doing a good job, going home as good as we can. So, Edwin, how are we intending it to work? So it's supposed to be for emergency departments New Zealand wide. It's insider led. Hey, Mike, you can grab me some water, could you? I seem to be having some sort of it's my hedonic and eudaimonic well-being. Um, Insider led. So who is the best person to figure out what, thank you, is good in a particular department? It's ED staff in that department, I think. I don't know what's going on in Hawke's Bay or whatever. I barely know what's going on in my place, but it needs to be distributed around in different departments. We need not just doctors, we need nurses and other stakeholders, including our consumers or patients. Um, I think we see top-down stuff like we were just next door talking about this new sepsis guidelines that we're supposed to have. It was been out for 6 months. Um, that's good to have these things probably, but actually we need to make sure that we get stuff from bottom up. We know what's going on in emergency departments. We live it every day. And so Edwin will hopefully address that gap of sort of bottom up knowledge, what's important for us, what's important for our patients, and also working across. So what's good in my department, what's going on in other departments. At the moment, we're meeting monthly, and I think this is a systems and complexity informed setup. Um, so why have we taken this approach? One of several things we've got from Australia is great movies. So why this approach? Just the vibe of it, I think, is one main thing. We think it can work. But also, this has really come out of the research that I've been involved in the last few years. That actually we found that meeting with folk from around New Zealand talking about stuff was really valuable, and actually we've continued on from then. So the data intervention stuff work that I've been involved with in research finished in April 2025, and Edwin was born in May 2025. So we just basically carried on our monthly meetings for our research group. Is there much evidence for effectiveness? No. But I'm interested to evaluate this work. But networks are considered, there's lots of networks around in healthcare. I don't know a whole lot about them, but these are some of the features of them. They can, spreads ideas, shares resources, helps for training, makes use of silos, spreads ideas around, and may be good for research as well. So why shouldn't we be involved in Edward? Because we should be hanging out on glaciers or just enjoying the serenity of not being at work. So there's always other stuff that we could be doing. So Edwin is a cost, and there's other things we can be doing. I'll just tell you an anecdote